Hey guys, I'm back and I'm here. How do we feel about the video that I made during the day? Because that was crazy. I feel finally back in my element. This is where I can truly be who I am, and we're back to making videos in the night when I should be asleep. Anyway, I don't know. Today was not a good day. Well, no, it really wasn't. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you for 10 minutes about mistakes because it kind of is something that we haven't touched on. And I don't know, I feel like it's kind of not stupid, but it's kind of not. What happened today is not something that I could even make a video about, but it is. I just made a really careless mistake today, you know what I mean? I kind of just missed something that happened at work, and it wasn't this could change our life, but it was pretty important to me, and I'd been looking forward to it, and I had told people about it and whatever it is. And I still live with my family, so yes, I can feel my emotions and I can go through that, but they're right there when I'm doing it. So when I made this mistake, I just was reflecting on what I used to do in the past, and basically when I was younger, I would kind of I didn't really know better unless I was kind of taught to do better. I would just kind of wallow and be in self-pity and just it sounds so sad, but not just grow to really resent myself. And with my thoughts and everything, I would call them thought spirals, which I guess is what you would call it, but just be down on yourself and worse on yourself. And I think that one thing I wanted to mention in this video, this one piece of hair sticking out is bugging me. I think for some reason we think that it's comforting to be our worst critic. We think that that's a good thing to do, but it really doesn't do me any good. And I don't know, I just kind of wanted your guys' take on this because this was such a human mistake. It was so normal. It was so incredibly normal that literally anyone could do it. People have done it in the past. But I found myself I literally found myself after it happened, I literally found myself mid thought process. Okay, well, there's 2 ways that I can deal with this, or maybe 3. I can just take immediate action. I can apologize. I can propose different solutions. I can reschedule, whatever it is. Or I can just sit in this feeling because I feel really, really bad that I did this thing. Or just kind of cry. In computer science, there's this thing called a decision tree. And that's what I felt in that moment. I don't know if you can be a decision tree if you just have 2 outputs. I think you can, but you'd be kind of a limited decision tree. I felt like a decision tree in that moment, and that's a reference computer scientists will only understand. But I literally saw a decision tree in my mind of all the ways that this could possibly go. And then I realized this kind of isn't a big deal. It is, in a sense. But the way that we just deal with mistakes, I feel we should just be giving each other so much more grace. You know what I mean? I'm not saying a lack of accountability, because one thing right after I made this mistake, I was okay, well, I need to acknowledge that I made the mistake. I need to own up to the fact that I made the mistake. So I did that, literally, verbally, mentally. And then it wasn't the best to. That's another thing I want to suggest. If you're going through something, people always say talk to someone else about it, talk to someone else about it. I don't know if that's the immediate thing you should do anymore, because once I did that, there are people who will take light of that, and there are people who will just make you feel worse. So, and the worst thing is that you might deserve it, right? Because of the mistake you made. I deserved it, but I don't know. I don't know. I just want to be so much better at this. You know what I mean? See, I am not gonna get emotional because I have learned from it, and I literally don't want to do this day over again. And I don't know, I'm being really vulnerable with you guys, which is not something that I'm used to as well, because I feel like I'm vulnerable with you guys at a certain point, but I don't like go all the way. And this is pretty much me like going all the way. And I don't know. I don't know. I wanted to make a separate video about this, but I feel like I am the person that is always afraid of something. And my mom actually told me that when I was a kid, I would actually be the kid that was more afraid than everybody else. I wouldn't be like jumping off the walls and like swimming into the ocean. Like, not the kids swim into the ocean, but you know what I mean? Like, do daring things. I was never the kid that did that. I was actually always the kid who was more so afraid. And so I feel like the reason I'm even mentioning this is because the way that you treat yourself, even in little moments, it adds up. Because the more that you, let's say, quote unquote, make little mistakes like these, and the way you treat yourself afterwards, it's going to become this habit of like, honestly, no wonder you hate yourself. You know what I mean? Not even to be blunt or to be mean or to be rude, but it's like, you're not giving yourself any kind of grace after you make a mistake. You're just hardcore, full of criticism, and that's it. You know what I mean? I think that as you grow up, there can be this healthy balance of both. Like, is that not entirely what college is? Like, oh, I feel so sick right now, but I need to lock in. Oh, I literally just cannot mentally be stimulated for this lecture, but I have to find a way to lock in. I don't know. I feel like that's really the underlying thing of what's going on here. Like, it just isn't really worth it either, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I've told you guys this before, I think in one other video, but I think when you're being down on yourself or you're comparing yourself or something like that, you have to ask yourself what kind of standards you're even putting yourself up against. You know what I mean? And I have always been the kind of person that I do not want to be obsessed with work. I don't think it will lead to any success of mine. And I suppose that that's not like to bash anybody or anything, but even if I was that person that was so obsessed with work that I didn't make the mistake today, I don't know if I would like be happy in general, you know what I mean? Because the first thing that can happen is like, we think of all the ways things could have been different if we didn't make that mistake. We think of all the things that we could have done differently so that we didn't make that mistake. You'll never know. Once something is done, you can't take it back. And the more that you kind of harp on yourself for things that have just already happened, whether big or small, it adds up in a way that you won't even realize until later in your life. And you're just kind of like, wait, wow, like, how did we get here? You know what I mean? So this isn't really like me trying to be like, you know, boring you and stuff with mental health or like, you know, super crazy about like affirmations or anything like that. It's just more so like, I don't know. I think everyone goes through it, and everyone goes through these moments of like, you make a mistake and you're just like, well, how am I going to treat this right now, and how am I going to treat myself right now? So that was my day today. Listen, we have 1 minute left, hallelujah. They rescheduled the meeting, hallelujah. So everything is good, hallelujah. I made that mistake, it's okay, hallelujah. If I got through it, you do too, hallelujah. If you don't get the hallelujah reference that's going around, that would be like really awkward, because I just did like at least a few seconds of it. But anyway, we're almost running out of time. Maybe I shared too much in this video, maybe I overshared, but do not beat yourself up for little mistakes, especially as you grow up, as you're a person in the workforce, a young person in the workforce, just a young person in general, old person, middle-aged person. The only person that you need to be giving the most grace is you, learning that the most is you. And I will just keep trying to remind you guys of that. So goodbye, hallelujah. I can't do this.